There's a common thread with insurance companies where they've got to look at the liability that's involved with the loss of life or injury to persons. Again, this week, we received instructions in a matter where someone has died. Christopher's already referred to the matter that I'm aware of in Queanbeyan, where the 1-year-old recently died in the last couple of days. How do you protect yourself against claims that come up against building and contents? But we don't just look at the property damage, so we might easily consider, well, there's a building being affected or the contents has been affected. But outside of that, there are businesses that can go broke. There's business interruption insurance. And once this becomes litigated, then the lawyers will also be calculating the interest on the lost income and the potential expansion or development of that business. The loss of customers that go to an alternate in the meantime. All this will be calculated into that. It's a much, much bigger picture than simply sitting there like, okay, how much is the building damage, how much is the contents damage? People lose their jobs. Whilst an insurance company was deciding a decision in relation to a claim that I was asked to review, it took some 4 years getting different experts involved to write various reports, which I then comment on and refuted one of those reports, which meant they met the claim. But in the meantime, the policyholder went broke. I think there's a community aspect of what we've got to be thinking about, what we're involved in. I think everybody in this room would have regard to other human beings. We have to consider not just the personal injury, but also what it may do to their families, what it may do to themselves, their employment, the company that employs them. It's far-reaching, and these are all some of the aspects that have to be considered. So when we get sent out to scenes, we're looking at a much, much bigger picture. Only yesterday, as I said, coming down here, I went and examined the fire in a major shopping centre in the CBD of Sydney, and my instructions were specifically that the fire company was in there doing a test. Can you go and tell us what the cause of the fire is and see if there's any recovery available? It doesn't mean go and find evidence so we can institute recovery. It's tell us if they did what they were supposed to do. If you look at the definition of negligence, if I was to drop it down a little bit, it's an act or an omission that should have been done. So in other words, did someone do something they shouldn't have done, or did they fail to do something they should have done? And these are all the things that we will be considering when we go out. Once you get professionals in here, the engineers, the certifiers, all this impacts on your professional indemnity insurance. I have a multi-million-dollar matter in one of the territories. It was a very, very large-scale fire. But when we broke it down, the builder has been held responsible, and through the cascading effect of working out what percentage of these matters then dropped down to the other people. The builder was there, the designer, the certifier. Because right up that daisy chain, there was faults in every part of it, from the design right through to the installation to the finally certification of compliance. And my clients just said, well, it doesn't really matter to us anymore, we're getting our money back. Because at the end of the day, they have to rebuild the building. It's a defined event, they have an insured party, and that party then has the responsibility to or the insurance company has the responsibility to put the building back up. They just got to recoup their losses.